You're listening to Left at the Valley 2.0.
My dear Brent, you have a.
I do. And my bad. Did Ben send you a clip? Because he might have just sent it to me. And
yeah, he sent it to you because I don't have it.
Shit. Okay, no, that's all right. That's all right. No big deal. So here's what happened. This is from the Friendly Atheist blog, of course, and here's the headline: it's an off-duty pilot used the PA system to tell his captive audience of the flight about Jesus, and not only about Jesus, he gets into some really uncomfortable territory. So
you look to your left on the left wing, we have Jesus walking there.
Oh man, I would have been fucking livid if like I had to just sit there and listen to a fucking sermon over a goddamn PA while I'm stuck.
Right.
But what kind of sermon would it be? Would it be like, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain." That was playing in the sky.
Yeah, because they always sound so. Buddy, no, I just want to tell you about Jesus. No, Jesus is the Lord of everything, and I just want to let that sounded very weird.
They just can't help themselves, right? They just can't help themselves. They really just gotta push Jesus onto everything.
Yeah, like they're just like, oh man, we're gonna be here for another 20 minutes. All the people are strapped down in their seats and can't move anywhere. They're like, I got an idea. Let me push my religion on all of them. This would be great.
Let's make the flight really, really uncomfortable. Bad enough that you're in economy class and you got your knees up to your chin and you're trying to squeeze between the seat and nothing. Jesus on top of that. It's a great star review on this.
Yeah. Like, you know what these people need? They need to up the discomfort here. I mean, really.
Yeah, that's right.
Crank it up a notch. Yeah. But on June 15th, so this is a while ago, but we got all the details of it more recently. An off-duty American Airlines pilot grabbed a hold of the public address system just after the plane landed in Chicago from Washington, D.C. As the passengers waited to get off the flight, the pilot began telling everyone about Jesus, sex addiction,
Wait a minute, is he talking about Jesus' sex addiction or Jesus, sex addiction?
No, it's just different categories.
I want to
get covered.
I want to hear about Jesus' sex addiction. Jesus hit the green bang 12 guys in the rowboat on the sea. Yeah, man. Oh, sorry, I gotta do it like the pilot. Jesus used to gangbang on the Sea of Galilee with Peter.
Well, it's like, I mean, it's not fair. I mean, look at the holes in my hands. I mean, it's perfect, really. I mean, makes it much more interesting. I can't help it now. But no, and the last one's the crazy. So they went on to tell everybody about Jesus, sex addiction, and his marriage to a woman, despite being gay.
Okay. Gay or the pilot is gay?
The pilot is gay and is married, but talking about like basically, how it's a choice, and
he likes to convert on top of that.
Right. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not like he just was like, hey, y'all, if you feel bad about things you did in your life, just Jesus will forgive you. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, he goes on to fucking sex addiction and, the fact that he's gay and he managed to like pray away that enough to get married, I guess. I don't. Jesus. But so here's this.
There's so many things wrong with that.
Right. Here it is, and I quote. This is what he said. I screamed to God every night that he would take away my sins and thoughts resulting homosexual tendencies. He said, my life kept spiraling out of control. It's like basically one of those testimony stories, my life kept spiraling out of control. I became a sex addict, not a thing.
Yeah,
and turned to pornography. The pilot said that he had married a woman 5 years ago, but could not tell her about my pain and struggle with homosexuality. even though I was in love with her, just over 1 year into the marriage, I began to give into the pressure of being gay. The pressure of being
Well, maybe he's just bi. You know, ever thought of that, buddy? You know, maybe
or
you
maybe
like
just well, I mean, he already brought. So here's the thing: he already brought up the sex addiction thing, right?
Mhm.
And generally, that's not a thing. Like
No,
porn addictions and stuff. But people think it's a thing if
yes.
they feel this like real like heavy guilt, and usually that's put on them by other members
Environment.
of their community, right? And so
Right.
they end up, and then they put it on themselves. So they're like, "Well, this is something I need to stop. I can't stop it because like it's fucking masturbation. Like that's a normal thing." You know, and but they think that they're doing something wrong, and so they think it's an addiction. It kind of
And
feels that way to them.
for the audience out there, next time some guy or gal comes at you and talks about sex addiction and say, "Yeah, I was a sex addict," just ask him one question: Who diagnosed you?
Right.
Because you'll find out real quick that they never had a diagnosis. Because first of all, it's not a thing. It's not,
It's
a
not
thing.
a thing.
They were diagnosed by their preacher.
That's right. They've been diagnosed by their preacher or their parents or something like that. That's
Right.
all there is.
Yeah. But all of this is, and you know, and he, but what a weird thing to put on to all the people in a plane. I mean, we're talking, there's kids, and I mean, it's a plane full of people, you know,
Yeah.
and you're going to put all of this, like the, you know, your testimony, which it seems to be like, this would have been, if it was my old church, this would have been a testimony that the pastor would have been like, okay, and before the testimony, all the kids, can we round up all the kids for Sunday school? Can we? Come on. All right. Now, okay, you see the guys coming down, just send your kids out. They're going to get them to their classes. Okay, now time for the testimony. You know, like that. They would have done that at my church. You know what I mean?
Here's an interesting thought. Use that same story, but make that guy a Muslim. What would the outrage be? This guy is just on the microphone talking about Allah to a captive
Right.
audience, U.S. audience. Just imagine the outcry there.
Oh,
The
man.
outcry about people saying, "Oh my God, they're trying to impose Sharia, blah blah blah." Conservatives would just be losing their shit in mass, and it's the same thing, but because it's Christianity, it barely makes a blip.
Yeah. I mean, this is from months
Yeah.
ago, you know, a couple of months ago. And like, we're just now getting the details on it because everybody was just like, sure. Yeah.
If it
why
was- if
wouldn't they do a message while I'm
If
sitting
it
and
was
waiting
a
to get off the
Muslim
plane?
testimony, it'd be front page of the New York Times. It'd be front page of every newspaper out there.
Yeah, Fox News, like
Yeah,
on
I want
nonstop coverage.
Non-stop coverage. We're on our 37, our coverage of Islamic terrorists finding the airplanes.
Right. Tucker would be chasing him down in the street.
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us some more about.
I
Jesus.
don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it's. I don't know what it is about Christians always having. They try so hard. You know, it's like that. It's like the crappy salesman that comes to your front door that wants to desperately sell you a set of Jinsu knives. I don't want your stupid Jinsu. I don't want your stupid Jesus. I don't care how much you tell me Jesus helps you or how these Jinsu knives are cutting tomatoes. I really don't give a fuck. Go away.
Yeah, and it's like they act like we've never heard this stuff before. Like I almost next time I swear I just want to completely like so I mean, who so what? Jesus is that
Yeah.
what you say? Jesus? What is that? He died? That's
I've-
awful. I'm so sorry he died. Is he okay? He's not okay because he's dead. But I'm sorry about that. Whatever, you know, just act like you've never because they like to go over this like you've never fucking heard it before and like this the 200th time I've heard this story. Now it's gonna make me like want to come to your church.
I love to mess with them because I remember one time I went to a interfaith conference of some kind, right? And I went there as the atheist, and the guy walks to me and hey, how you doing? I'm John or something, and he's got this huge wooden cross on a necklace. And I mean, it's not like the normal tiny one usually. It's like fucking huge. It's almost the size of a plate, Like, and I looked at it and I said, "What's with the T?"
Big Tom or something.
Well, I thought, yeah, maybe it's Super Tom or Tim or something. And he just went on. That was like right there opening. So, well, let me tell you about Jesus.
Oh no, this is a Roman torture device. Here's why it's important.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Oh,
that's
man.
hilarious. It's
Oh,
like I always loved that bit that I can't remember the comedian that did it. Was just like, does anybody really think that's what Jesus would want to see when he comes back?
Jesus,
A bunch of his torture devices around everyone's neck.
I know the
Right.
cross.
Give him PTSD.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who said that either.
I also love the ones where they say if Jesus had been like hung, there'd be a little noose around the electric chair. There'd be a little chair.
They wear a little electric chair around their neck.
It's
funny.
so freaking ridiculous. Oh man.
So weird. But
Well-
yeah, it seemed to be quite inappropriate for an airplane.
Thank you so much for that, Brent. Let's take a quick pause. But before we do that, before we take a quick pause, because we're like ahead of schedule here,
Oh yeah,
let's talk to Thomas a bit. Thomas,
Yeah.
tell
what's up, man?
us about yourself, man.
Oh, well, what do you want to know? Where do you want me to start?
Where you
The
from? What do you do?
conception story all the way to now.
Well, I grew up in a Methodist church all the way through high school, and but when I was a kid, I had doubts and questions, but that got dismissed by God works in mysterious ways, or who are we to question the Lord? BS answers like that.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, that along with now go outside and play was enough to just to dismiss me from questioning much more, because playtime was far more important at that age.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
But as I got after high school, I was in and out of church for the next several years, mostly in whenever I was going with a girlfriend and her family, or if it was a particular down point in my life and I thought maybe God was the answer. But eventually, the questions started coming back, and they only grew and got more questions, and they still got the same BS answers or no answers at all. So I started researching for myself. I started learning how the history of religions, how they were formed, how they were built upon religions that came before them, and so on. And eventually came to the realization that it was all BS. Let's see, then that was my early 20s, somewhere I guess around 22, 23 or so. From then up until 2016 or so, I was a closet atheist. I only knew one or two other atheists in person. Other than that, that was it. 2016, I joined social media, discovered atheist groups, and discovered, oh shit, there's a lot more people out there like me than I had any clue.
Isn't that a relief when you find that out?
Yes,
Right.
it was. Yes, big relief.
Thank goodness.
In 2017, I started. 2018, I started going to the Austin community, atheist community of Austin. I actually live only about 6 blocks away from there, actually.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I went there for the first time. I got to meet Aaron Ra. He was there, and I was stuttering when I first met him. I was holding my hand out and shook his hand, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Aaron," and I'm like, couldn't talk. Oh, but let's see. Then in March of 2019, I was the co-organizer for the first Atheist Day ATX event. That was in association with the Atheist Day International, which was started by Armand Renaviv of Atheist Republic. So when I heard about it, I went and talked to the guys at ACA, the president there, and asked them if they knew anything about it, if they were fighting anything. They weren't, and they basically put the ball in my court, along with their guidance, of course, to see what I could come up with. And it was awesome. It's the first event of any kind, first of anything I've ever organized at all, and it was a huge success. It blew our expectations clean out of the water. Since 2018 is when I started doing my off-the-chain atheist clothing designs. I've got a couple of online shops. One of them is Element X Designs, and my other one is Off the Chain Atheist, and that one is all atheist and secular designs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a business, just a hobby.
Including the T-shirt you're wearing now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. And I
That is
actually
so
got
dope. Love it.
I actually got a shirt from there and say, I wish I didn't know I'd have put it on for today, but it said "fuck racism," which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you again for that.
Oh, you bet. Yeah,
I'd
no, thanks for
forgotten about
providing
that.
it. It was great.
So,
Yeah,
it's
that's fucking
fun.
awesome.
It nets me a little bit of spare change each month, so it keeps me busy.
All right.
Uh,
That's
Other than
great.
that, I don't know what to say.
That's
I've
all
got
right.
a-
That's perfect.
If people want to visit your shop, and buy
Oh,
your stuff,
yeah.
where do they go?
Well, the easiest. Let's see. Well, find me on Facebook for one. That's probably the easiest way. Thomas Bear on Facebook, and from there you can find my pages. I've got a memes page. I've got a Facebook page for my apparel and merch. I've got a Off the Chain Atheist group that's got just over 4,000 members in it. The easiest way, I don't know if y'all have a way you can put up the link on with the video, but the link I sent you earlier, that has all my links together.
Okay.
So,
Perfect. No, yeah, and I'll share that out on my social media, and we'll put it on the Left at the Valley group that we have on Facebook, which everybody should join, of course.
Absolutely.
And the Unapologetics one as well. So we'll definitely put that out for you. Yeah,
thank you.
It's good.
No,
it's a good product.
Arn is a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, he's fun.
And I'm still amazed to this day when I stop and think about the people that I know and am friends with now through the ACA and through having organized that event. Thomas Westbrook, he's a good friend of mine. He was one of the speakers for it. Drew McCoy, who's genetically modified skeptic.
Oh, yeah.
Seth Andrews, all these people. Little old me is standing here next to these big names and like celebrity, so to almost, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, well, it's daunting, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
if your friend would genetically modify skeptic, send him our way. We haven't interviewed him yet, so
okay.
Have him on the show. Yeah,
seriously, yeah.
I was always whenever I went to a conference, an atheist conference, I went to a couple of the Imaginal Religion that when we had it here in Canada. I was always taken aback by how human a lot of these big names happen. I can remember, for example, Matt Dillahunty. I walked in. Here's Matt Dillahunty, and there's lots of people around, and he's there by himself. I thought everybody's going to be rushing to see and talk to Matt. No, he's just hanging around doing nothing. People walking by him. Hey, how you doing? And I just like, holy shit, you're Matt Dillahunty, dude. It's like you think, but no, it's like super casual. Even if when they're big names, even with Seth Andrews, Arn Raw, even Richard Dawkins. When I met Dawkins, was kind of the same thing, and people were very, very casual about it all.
That's fascinating. I
Arn had some of the best stories I ever heard. I don't know if I ever told you that one, Brent. Arn's telling me the story about he's years ago he was hitchhiking in Texas, right? And he was wearing this kind of like sweater, this kind of woolly sweater, and he's going to this little part of near a town that's pretty wooded, and he's starting to realize as he's walking, and the sun's starting to go down, he's being tracked by a pack of coyotes.
Oh shit!
Arn's a big guy. Arn's a big guy, but he realizes, okay, I'm in trouble. So once around, he would just like turn around and kind of like roar to scare them or something like that. Sun's going down. These coyotes are getting a bit more and more bold. So he realizes, okay, I'm in trouble here. So he's trying to flag down cars. Now, if you've seen Arn, you see what he looks like. Cars are swerving around him and bolting.
It's a crazy mountain man. Get out of here.
That's a funny thing. Eventually, he gets picked up and he goes to whatever destination he was coming. On his way back, going through that same town as he's being picked up by some guy, the guy tells him, without word of a lie, I'm going to do my best Texan accent, I guess. He says, "You better watch out, boy. People have been reporting Bigfoot in these areas lately."
No, it wasn't even a mountain man. It was a Bigfoot.
The big guy in the woolly sweater. He just said people thought it was Bigfoot in the dusk and on the road there, trying to flag cars down. People thought they saw Bigfoot and were just bolted away.
Wow, that's so funny.
Amazing story. Okay, let's take a quick pause, and when we come back, we'll have a Roy Dahl of the Native Press. So stick with us, guys. Stick around.